Have you ever heard a story so strange, so unsettling, that it stays with you long after you've heard it? Today, we're diving deep into one of the greatest maritime mysteries of all time, the perplexing and chilling case of the Mary Celeste. This isn't just a ghost story. It's a real-life historical enigma that has baffled experts and storytellers for over 150 years. Let's set the scene. The Mary Celeste was a brigantine merchant ship, originally named the Amazon. Launched in Nova Scotia in 1861, she had a bit of a troubled past from the very beginning. Her first captain fell ill and passed away on her maiden voyage. She experienced several accidents, including a collision with another vessel in the English Channel and running aground. After being sold and repaired, she was renamed the Mary Celeste in 1868. Despite this unlucky start, she was a sturdy and seaworthy vessel, not the kind of ship you'd expect to just vanish or be abandoned without a fight. In November 1872, the Mary Celeste was ready for a new journey. Her captain was Benjamin Briggs, a respected and experienced seaman. He was joined by his wife, Sarah, their 2-year-old daughter, Sophia, and a crew of 7 skilled sailors. They were a tight-knit group heading from New York City to Genoa, Italy. The cargo was valuable 1,701 barrels of denatured alcohol, intended for fortifying Italian wines. Everything seemed normal. The ship was in good condition, the crew was competent, and the captain was a family man with everything to live for. On November 7, 1872, they set sail, waving goodbye to the shores of New York, completely unaware they were sailing into a legend. For the first few weeks, the voyage seemed to be going smoothly. The ship's logbook, which would later be discovered, showed daily entries tracking their position and progress. The weather was recorded as being fair for the most part, nothing a seasoned crew couldn't handle. The final entry in the ship's log was made on the morning of November 25th at 5 a.m. It placed the Mary Celeste about 100 miles west of the Azores Islands. A slate on the ship noted they had sighted the island of Santa Maria in the Azores later that same day. And then silence. That was the last confirmed communication, the last known detail from anyone aboard the Mary Celeste. After that, it's as if the ship, its captain, his family, and the entire crew simply ceased to exist. Fast forward about 10 days to December 4th, 1872. Another ship, the Dei Gratia, was sailing the Atlantic. Its captain, David Morehouse, was an acquaintance of Captain Briggs. Imagine his surprise when he spotted a ship drifting erratically about 400 nautical miles east of the Azores. As they got closer, they identified the vessel as the Mary Celeste. They hailed her again and again, but received no response. The ship was sailing aimlessly, with some of her sails torn and others not set correctly, but she was largely intact and seaworthy. Something was very wrong. Captain Morehouse sent a boarding party to investigate. What they found was a scene of eerie, inexplicable abandonment. The ship was completely deserted. Not a single soul was on board. The crew's personal belongings were still in their quarters untouched. Valuables, including money and jewelry, were left behind. The ship's cargo of industrial alcohol was almost entirely intact, ruling out a simple mutiny for profit. Even more bizarrely, there was a 6-month supply of food and fresh water on board. The captain's logbook was found in the mate's cabin, with its final entry from 9 days prior. The only things missing were the ship's single lifeboat, the chronometer, the sextant, and the ship's papers. It was as if everyone on board had decided to leave in a hurry. But why? There was no sign of a struggle, no blood, no evidence of a fire or a pirate attack. The Mary Celeste was a perfectly sound ship, floating silently in the middle of the ocean, a ghost ship holding a profound secret. The crew of the Dei Gratia managed to sail the Mary Celeste to Gibraltar, where a formal inquiry was held. The authorities were immediately suspicious. How could a ship in such good condition be abandoned? The Attorney General in charge of the inquiry was convinced of foul play, possibly a conspiracy between the crews of the Mary Celeste and the Dei Gratia to share a salvage claim. He even had the ship examined for traces of blood, but none were found. Despite his intense suspicion and a lengthy investigation, no evidence of a crime ever surfaced. The court praised the De Gracia crew for their salvage, but awarded them only a fraction of what the ship and cargo were worth, a clear sign of lingering doubt. The fate of the Mary Celeste herself after this incident was less than glamorous. Deemed an unlucky ship, she passed through 17 different owners before her final captain deliberately wrecked her on a reef in Haiti in 1885 in an attempt at insurance fraud. It was a sad, undignified end for a vessel at the heart of such a legendary mystery. So what happened to the 10 people aboard the Mary Celeste? This is where the theories begin, ranging from the plausible to the outright bizarre. Let's start with the most credible. One popular theory centers on the cargo, the barrels of industrial alcohol. The idea is that some of the barrels may have leaked, creating a buildup of flammable vapor in the hold. Fearing an imminent explosion, perhaps after hearing a rumbling sound or seeing a vapor cloud, Captain Briggs might have ordered everyone to abandon ship as a precaution. They would have piled into the lifeboat, possibly towing a line to the main ship, intending to return once the danger passed. But a sudden storm or a snapped tow line could have separated them from the Mary Celeste, leaving them adrift and lost at sea. This theory explains the hurried but orderly departure and why the ship was left intact. Another compelling idea involves a seaquake, a rare underwater earthquake that can cause violent, unpredictable water turbulence without necessarily damaging a ship's structure. Such an event could have terrified the crew, who might have thought the ship was about to break apart. In a panic, they would have launched the lifeboat to escape what they perceived as an immediate threat, only to be swamped by a resulting wave or lost in the vast ocean. Of course, there are more speculative theories. Some have suggested pirates, but this is unlikely. The personal belongings and valuable cargo were left untouched, which goes against the typical motive of pirates. Mutiny is another theory, but Captain Briggs had a reputation as a fair and respected leader, and the crew was experienced. There were no signs of violence on board, which makes a mutiny seem improbable. And then we venture into the truly strange. Over the years, people have proposed everything from a giant squid attack to an encounter with a UFO that abducted the crew. Some old tales even spoke of a vengeful sea monster. While these ideas make for fantastic stories, there is absolutely no evidence to support them. They belong more to the realm of folklore and fiction than to historical investigation. The truth is likely far more mundane, yet the lack of definitive proof allows our imaginations to run wild. The legacy of the Mary Celeste is immense. It has become the archetypal ghost ship story, a tale that has been riddled and embellished countless times. It inspired Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of Sherlock Holmes, to write a short story that added sensationalized fictional details. Like the Marie Celeste is the ship's name and finding warm meals on the tables, which many people mistakenly believe are true facts. The story taps into our deepest fears of the unknown and the awesome, untamable power of the sea. It reminds us that even with all our modern technology, there are still mysteries out there that we may never solve. The Mary Celeste isn't just a story about a missing crew. It's a story about the limits of our understanding and the enduring power of a good mystery. What do you think happened? Let me know your best theory in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more historical mysteries. See you next time.